Welcome to Hello English Teacher. Today let's look at the line by line explanation of the second part of the chapter On the Face of It from class 12 English. If you are watching my video for the first time, please subscribe. You can listen to the explanations of lessons from classes 10, 11 and 12 English. And don't forget to press the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I upload a video. Let's move on to the video now. So, in the last class, we saw that Mr. Lamb was talking to Derry and he asked him to look beyond close to the wall on the other side and tell him what he saw. And immediately Derry answered that it was rubbish, because we saw that he was always withdrawn and defiant. He was not interested in things, but this man was trying to keep up his positive attitude. So, he asked him, what did you see over there just near the wall? And this boy said, rubbish. So, Mr. Lamb, rubbish? Look boy, look, what do you see? So, he once again asked him to look there and reply what he saw. Just grass and stuff, weeds. So, Derry said that he could see just grass and other things, and especially weeds. What are weeds? Weeds are all the unnecessary plants that grow in the garden or wherever. Mr. Lamb, some call them weeds. If you like them, then a weed garden that. So, he said that okay, some people like to call them as weeds. So, there can be a weed garden as well. There is a fruit and there are flowers, trees and herbs. So, he is telling that he could also see there are fruit trees, there are flowers, trees and herbs, all sorts, but over there weeds. I grow weeds there. Why is one green growing plant called a weed and another a flower? And then he is saying that at that part of the garden near the wall, he says that he was growing weeds, and he was also asking why people are calling some plants as weeds and some plants are as flowers, though all of them are green. Why do they differentiate and call plants like flowering plants or weeds? What's the difference? It's all life growing, same as you and me. So, he was trying to tell him a great fact that all of them are alike, made of the same substance. So, then why is there a difference in giving them different names? Why are people calling plants differently as weeds and flowering plants and fruit trees or whatever? So, immediately Derry replies, we are not the same. So, he was trying to drive the point that all of things are the same, but Derry said that they are not the same, or we are not the same. Mr. Lamb, I am old, you are young. You have got a burned face, I have got a tin leg, not important. You are standing there, I am sitting here, where's the difference? So, when the boy said we are not the same, so immediately Mr. Lamb started saying that yes, we are not the same, just because I am old and you are young. You have got a burned face and I have got a tin leg. So, I told you in the beginning that there was some similarity between both of them. Both of them are physically impaired. The boy has a burned face and this man, Mr. Lamb, has a tin leg. That means his one leg was injured. He will tell later how, and so he was having a tin leg there. So, he is saying that is not important, and he is also saying that okay, you are standing there and I am sitting here. So, what is the difference? Where is the difference? He was asking Jerry. Jerry, why you have got a tin leg? Why have you got a tin leg? So, he wants to know how is that you have a tin leg. Mr. Lamb, real one got blown off years back. Lammy lamb, some kids say. So, he is saying that one of my legs was blown off, maybe in a war or something. Okay, so he is saying, and that happened some years back, and people call him, especially the kids, make fun of him and they call him as Lammy lamb. Haven't you heard them? You will, Lammy lamb, it fits, doesn't trouble me. So, he is saying that though children call me Lammy lamb, I don't bother about it, it doesn't trouble me at all. It fits me because I am lame, I don't have one leg, I have a tin leg. So, he says that children always make fun of me. So, have you not heard children calling me this name? So, here again Mr. Lamb is trying to tell Derry that you have to not be worried about what people call you or how they think about you. Derry, but you can put on trousers and cover it up and no one sees it and they don't have to notice and stare. So immediately Derry tells him that, okay, you have a tin leg, but then you can wear your trousers and cover it up and nobody will notice it. What he's trying to say is he has a burned face and he's not able to cover it up, and people always look at him and stare. Mr. Lamb, some do, some don't. They get tired of it in the end. There's plenty of other things to stare at. And so he tries to pacify him again by telling him that some people stare at me and some people don't stare at me. Some of them get tired, and he's also telling him that there are so many other things to stare at. Immediately Derry says, like my face. So he is always thinking that people are looking at him and staring at him because of his burnt face. Mr. Lamb, like crab apples or the weeds or a spider climbing up a silken ladder or my tall sunflowers. So what he meant by other things is that by people can look at the crab apples or the weeds or the spider climbing up the ladder or the sunflowers. So this is what he meant by people staring at so many other things. Derry, things, Mr. Lamb, it's all relative, Beauty and the Beast. So immediately Derry is telling, okay, these are things you call as things. And then Mr. Lamb says that they're all related, just like the Beauty and the Beast. So what's that supposed to mean? So immediately Derry asks him, what are you trying to say? Mr. Lamb, you tell me. So he tells you, okay, you try to explain. Immediately Derry tries to give an explanation. You needn't think they haven't all told me that fairy story before. So he's telling, okay, don't think that I don't know the fairy story about the Beauty and the Beast. It's not what you look like, it's what you are inside. So he's saying that, I know people say that beauty here means it's not the outer beauty alone, it's what you are inside. Your inner attitude or whatever is the one that decides your beauty. Handsome is as handsome does. So if you are handsome according to what you do, not what you look like. Beauty loved the monstrous beast for himself, and when she kissed him, he changed into a handsome prince. So he was narrating the story about the beautiful lady who fell in love with a beast, and once when she kissed him, what happened? The beast changed into a handsome prince. Only he wouldn't, he would have stayed a monstrous beast. I won't change. So he is saying that he may change into a handsome prince, but I would have remained the same. So immediately Mr. Lamb asks him, in that way, no you won't, so won't you change, he is asking. So immediately Derry replies, and no one will kiss me ever. So he is saying nobody is going to kiss me, especially because of my burnt face. So he has this feeling inside him that nobody likes him because of his face. Only my mother, and she kisses me on the other side of my face, and I don't like my mother to kiss me. She does it because she has to. And he is telling very sadly that even his mother kisses him only on the other side where there is no burnt mark. And he is telling that I don't like this because she is kissing me just because she is my mother. And why should I like that? If I don't care if nobody kisses me ever. And he is trying to say that I don't care if anybody kisses me at all, Mr. Lamb. But you care if you never kiss them. So he is also trying to play some fool with him and trying to ask him, so do you care to kiss them? Derry, what, Mr. Lamb? Girls, pretty girls, long hair and large eyes, people love, you love. So he is asking him, won't you like to kiss the beautiful girls, especially if you love somebody? Derry, who would let me? Not one. So he is saying that nobody is going to allow me to love them. Not even one girl would love me. So that is what he is trying to say here. Mr. Lamb, who can tell? So he is saying that who knows, there may be somebody who would love you. Derry, I won't ever look different. When I am as old as you, I look the same. I will still only have half a face. So he is saying that, feeling very sad, and with that kind of inferiority complex inside his mind, he keeps saying that I will be the same as long as I live. Even if I become old like you, my one face will always remain burnt. Mr. Lamb, so you will, but the world won't. The world's got a whole face and the world's there to be looked at. So he is saying that you won't, but then the whole world won't also change. But there's a lot of thing in the world for you to see. There are so many beautiful things around to be looked at. Derry, do you think this is the world, this old garden? So immediately he asked, so do you think that this garden you have is a whole world, and this seems to be a very old garden? Now and then in wet weather it doesn't signify. So Mr. Lamb says that there are changes now and then, but then it's not a matter of thing to remember or show any significance. Derry, oh, that's something else they all say. Look at all those people who are in pain and brave and never cry and never complain and don't feel sorry for themselves. Then Derry said, okay, so there are many people who are in pain and who cry and they never complain, and though they don't feel sorry for themselves at all. Mr. Lamb, I haven't said it. Derry, and think of all those people who are worse off than you. Think you might have been blinded or born deaf or have to live in a wheelchair or be daft in your head and dribble. And then again he is trying to say, see, there are people who are worse than you. You have a tin leg. But imagine if you were born blind, or if you were born deaf, or if you were daft in your head, means you are so stupid, or if you are supposed to live your life in a wheelchair, then what would be your condition? So here dribble means move with difficulty, like little by little. Mr. Lamb, and that's all true and you know it. And so he is telling that yes, it's very true, it's very difficult for people who are in such conditions. Derry, it won't make my face change, do you know? So he is saying that whatever be around, nothing is going to change my face. So one day a woman went by me in the street. I was at a bus stop and she was with another woman, and she looked at me and said, she whispered, only I heard her. She said, look at that, that's a terrible thing, that's a face only a mother could love. So he is narrating a small incident when he met a lady in a bus stop, and then that lady was with another lady, and when the lady looked at Derry, she just started whispering something to that other lady. So he heard what she whispered, and what did she say? She said, look at that, that's a terrible thing. She was feeling pity for this boy because of his face, and she was saying that's a face only a mother could love. And he felt very bad when he overheard what the lady was whispering to another woman. Oh no, I've heard a lot of things, and he keeps telling Mr. Lamb that these are the kinds of comments that he keeps hearing every time. Mr. Lamb, so now you keep your ears shut. So he is telling him that you close your ears. Derry, you are peculiar, you say peculiar things, you ask questions I don't understand. And then he finds Mr. Lamb very different from all others. He says that you are very peculiar and you say peculiar things and you ask a lot of questions which I am not able to understand. Mr. Lamb, I like to talk, have company. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to stop here at all. The gates open. And so Mr. Lamb says, I am different, yes, because I like to talk to people and I like to have company. And it's not compulsory that you have to always answer my questions. You can go whenever you want. The gate is always open. So you can see the kind of talk Mr. Lamb is giving to Derry. He is not at all under compulsion. He is not at all talking about negative things. Only the positive things he is talking to Derry. Derry, yes, but so Mr. Lamb told him that you can live whenever you leave, whenever you want to go. And then immediately Derry says, yes, but that means he does not want to leave. Mr. Lamb, I have a hive of bees behind those trees over there. Some hear bees and they say bees buzz. But when you listen to bees for a long time, they hum. And hum means to sing. I can hear them singing, my bees. So immediately Mr. Lamb is telling that he has a beehive in his garden. And he says that people tell that bees only buzz. But according to him, for him, the sound of bees is like singing. It's as if he is listening to a song. So he says to Derry that he always feels that his bees are singing. Derry, but I like it here. I came in because I liked it when I looked over the wall. So immediately Derry says that yes, I like this place. I came here because I like this place and I liked it especially when I saw over the wall. Mr. Lamb, if you had seen me, you would not have come in. Derry, no. Mr. Lamb, no. So immediately Mr. Lamb says, you wouldn't have come inside if you had seen me. Immediately Derry says no, and Lamb says no, you wouldn't have come. Derry, it would have been trespassing. So Derry says yes, it would have been trespassing. What is trespassing? Going into an area without anybody's permission, without the owner's permission. Mr. Lamb, that's not why. I don't like being near people. When they stare, when I see them being afraid of me. So immediately Derry says, yes, I don't like to meet people because they keep staring at me and they feel afraid of me. So that is why I don't like to be with people. So you can always see that Derry is always thinking about his burnt face. So he is always conscious and thinking that people don't like to look at him. Mr. Lamb, you could lock yourself in a room and never leave it. So he was just giving him an idea. Okay, if you don't want to be with people, what you can do is you can lock yourself in a room so that you will not be able to see people. And immediately he starts telling him a story. There was a man who did that. He was afraid, you see, of everything in this world. A bus might run over him, or a man might breathe deadly germs into him, or a donkey might kick him to death, or lightning might strike him down, or he might love a girl and the girl would leave him, and he might slip on a banana skin and fall, and people who saw him would laugh their heads off. So he went into this room and locked the door and got into his bed and stayed there. So Mr. Lamb was trying to tell Derry a story about a man who locked himself in his room because he was afraid of so many things. He thought that he would be hit by a bus, or he would be kicked by a donkey, or a lightning might strike him, or he would fall by slipping on a banana peel or something, and so he did not want all these to happen. So he locked himself in a room and he sat on his bed. He asks him, forever? For a while. So did he sit there forever? So Mr. Lamb says, no, only for a while. Then what? Mr. Lamb, a picture fell off the wall on his head and killed him. Derry laughs a lot. So immediately Derry says, what happened? Did he sit there forever? Then Mr. Lamb says, no, he sat there only for a while. What happened to the man? There was a picture on the wall, and that picture fell on his head when he was sitting on the bed and killed him. So immediately Derry starts laughing. So you see, but you still say peculiar things. So what he was trying to tell him, that there is no use of saying that I don't want to see people and closing yourself inside and sitting. What will happen will happen. So that is what he was trying to tell Derry. So but you still say peculiar things, peculiar to some. What do you do all day? And immediately Derry says, yes, whatever you say is peculiar. And Mr. Lamb says, only some people feel that they are peculiar. So immediately Derry wants to know, what are you doing all day? So what is that you do all day? Throughout the day, what are things you do? So I hope you liked today's video. Let's look at the next part of this lesson in my next video. For more informative videos, do subscribe to Hello English Teacher, like, share and give your valuable comments below. Thank you for watching.